There we go. Hello, hello, hello. I am Manji Dragonfly. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. When we last left off, we've gotten some very concerning reveals. Namely, our best friend may have been an assassin. He may in fact have actually been sent to Britain originally to kill a man, which I think I joked about at the end of the very first case of the very first game. I don't know, I didn't really re-review stuff. I re-reviewed a little bit of the last episode. But, yeah. Well, let's see how this goes, because we're just about to cross-examine Jigoku. Time to relearn. Guest waiting for me when I return to my cabin after finishing my evening meal in the dining room. Hold it! Because the so-called guard posted at your cabin door just let your killer pass, you mean? Apparently, Gregson told the crewman he was a police inspector. Which was the truth, of course. He wouldn't have had his identification with him, though. He has trench coat and mustache, as I mentioned, a bag of chips. I imagine the crewman was convinced. That bag of chips is his identification, Ryunosuke. It's more recognizable than his actual identification. The man coming in would have had two swords slung... Hold on. The man coming in would have had two sword, singular, slung around his waist. God damn it. God damn it, spell check. You mean... me? Who else? Yes, that's true. You would hope to save a few swords by instead of alarm bells on the guard's head. You'd be surprised how incompetent guards are. In all countries in this universe. The point is, I left the cabin before its active return and immediately disembarked the ship. Thirdly, all I can tell you is that only the inspector was waiting for me when I arrived back at my cabin. And you enter without any inkling of suspicion. That's right. None whatsoever. When I walked through the door, a mustachioed Englishman was there, foolishly waving a gun at me. Hold it! Obviously, you're talking about Inspector Gregson? I mean, who else? Yeah, so at the time, I didn't know the man's name. I guess Imagine that the big reveal after all of this is that Inspector Gregson had another daily vigil, a second daily vigil working for him that went to the ship. There was no time for introductions. I value my life over manners. I value my life over manners. By which you mean that the inspector was there to assassinate you, I suppose? So he ran up to you with a gun? That was certainly the impression given by the gun pointing in my direction. I've never seen the muzzle of a revolver shaken out so much in all my life. Anyone would think the man never shot somebody before. Has he shot somebody before? Believe it or not, most of us haven't. Anyway, there was no time to call for the help of the crewman at the door, so I dealt with the man myself. I soon took care of him with an Ippon sail throw, though. You can wait to wear away after that. Oop. Hold up, I did not mean to hit X there. Hold it! I need to hold it. I need to hold that. Even though the man had a gun? That was a very brief move, wasn't it? My Ippon sail is far faster than a bullet, I can assure you. Okay, can you catch a bullet with your teeth? I have to ask. I'm trying to give him more of like a Heihachi Mishima edge to his voice compared to like when I first voiced him back in case 1. Now we've gotten a bit more personality out of him. Surely all that commotion caused the crewman to come in, didn't it? Yes, of course. He burst in immediately without knocking. The inspector hurled himself at the stocky fellow and just managed to slip past and make his escape. The outstanding guard does it again. Luckily, there aren't many situations I can't get out of using a quickie pop sail throw. Have you considered an electric noogie, though? I imagine his watch was broken when I threw him over my shoulder. That has something to do with this murder.
Hold it!
Crown snapped off and the glass covering the face of the watch was cracked. Preferable to a man's head being pulled off or his spine cracking, wouldn't you say? Not that the man was spared for long. A bullet to the chest soon saw to that. But the point is, the broken pocket watch doesn't prove that murder took place. Absolutely not! All the watch proves the power of my jujitsu throw! Whatever you say, it doesn't quite ring true that no shot was fired in that cabin. Because there was an obvious bullet hole in the wall. What are you talking about? Are you just gonna keep claiming that, like, termites or woodworms chewed into it? That's what the star of your lowbrow detective story has told you, is it? Lowbrow? Wow! You gonna get some classism out of you too? Well, I don't care for such fiction. Haven't you worked it out yet, you little stripling? No murder took place in my cabin. And then you tried to hide. Inspector was clearly killed having returned to Britain, because his body was found in London.
Hold it!
But there's no evidence that proves the victim ever returned to London alive. Just take a moment to think the idea of yours through now, stripling. What? The inspector was killed on the steamship in France. How on earth could he have got back to Britain? I mean, can we just admit at this point that the entire, like, justice system is corrupt? So, like, if someone killed him on the ship, maybe, like, Cosmo got the police officers to take the body back to wherever he wanted? Is that too obvious of a conclusion? Because, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's hard to tell, like, how much, like, full-on government corruption we're trying to operate under here. When people die, they're killed. No, when people die, their bodies remain in that same spot. It's a devil of a thing. No one has ever moved a dead body! Ever! Well, then, obviously the culprit must have moved the body! How exactly? Carrying a corpse off a ship in your arms would raise a few eyebrows at least, don't you think? Well, yes, that's true, but... All passenger luggage is inspected when it is unloaded from arriving vessels. And I would like to think the border police would query the corpse of an English gentleman as hand luggage. The murder had taken place aboard the ship. You would imagine the body would have been disposed of at sea. There would be no sense in risking being caught by attempting to transport the body back to Britain. Ah! Let's kill that idea then. But perhaps not. Mr. Sato? I've heard that the first-class passengers were under constant scrutiny by the crewmen posted to guard them. Which would mean that the culprit had no opportunity to dispose of the body in the sea. Yes, that's true. So, transporting the body to Britain may have been the only viable alternative. Dear me, you really are new to this, aren't you? I thought I'd been perfectly clear, but it seems I'm going to have to explain it in words you can understand. I think I'll alter my testimony. With your consent, of course, my lord. I have no objection. Say your amended testimony now. There's no possible way I could have transported the victim's corpse back to Britain.
Hold it!
Break this, then... there's an idea. Think about it, stripling. All passengers and crew disembarked at the same time and passed through the same checks at the border. Would a, like, presiding judge slash Justice Minister? Yeah, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Judge of the Supreme Court of Judicature in Japan. Would they be under the same scrutiny as, like, every other, like, person on board? Even the first class passengers? Symposium guests were then driven straight to the hotel in carriages organized by the ministry. I met you as soon as we arrived at the hotel. So you did! Well then, remind me. Did I have a corpse over my shoulder at the time? What did he have for luggage? Did he have luggage at the time? Shit, this is the thing that I would know if I actually bothered. Okay. In my defense, I really did not have much time to, like, re-review anything this week. I've been busy this week. I kind of took this as my vacation week, but I wound up having to take care of a lot of other, personal life stuff. Mostly stuff regarding Christmas, but yeah, I was busy this week. I could not find the time to really re-review, the previous cases. No! So we're in agreement then. I could possibly have brought the inspector's body back to Britain. Unless, of course, they developed some clever devices, they instantly move things from A to B. Don't you fucking remind me of that case. Do not even dare remind me of that shit. Please just say that. Professor Hairbrain's invention didn't actually work, if you remember, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, of course. The professor's become unusually quiet, I notice. Yeah, it's because there's really nothing more to say. So that's his story. Well, I suppose if you think about it, whenever you drop a teacup in the office and it breaks, you don't say, Mr. Naruhodo. We don't say, Mr. Naruhodo has been murdered there, do we? Is that a veiled threat about what might happen to me if I break another one? Oh no, it's a very direct threat, Ryunosuke. The fact is that Inspector Gregson's body was found in the little room on Fresno Street. He really was killed in Judge Jigoku's cabin. The body would have to have been moved somehow, obviously. Transporting a dead body over a country border, that would be impossible for the majority of people. So there must have been some special circumstances that made it possible for the culprit then. That could be a vital realization, I think, Mr. Naruhodo. It's gotta be the fact that he's the foreign minister, blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? He's not like most other people. Oh, that's the Sogi papers. What am I thinking? That is his suitcase, right?
Objection!
Okay, no, I'm not jumping the gun. Cool. There's no possible way you could move Inspector Gregson's body, you say? I would say the opposite is true. And what's that supposed to mean? Far from being impossible for you to do, the transporting of Inspector Gregson's body back to Britain is something only you could do! What are you talking about, Ryunosuke? As well as being a judge, Mr. Jigoku is also Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs. Which means he's exempt from having his luggage searched when he enters the country. We learned that when we first met you upon your arrival in London. Well, all those passport checks and luggage searches at the border took rather a lot of time. I must say I'm very envious of your ministerial status. You didn't have to go through any of that, did you? Yeah, I don't think the game reminded us of that at any point in Case 5. I guess, like, being a Minister of Foreign Affairs, meaning making you exempt from the usual checks and all that shit would be like a fairly reasonable like assumption to make, but I feel like nothing bothered to actually like remind you that he'd be exempt from all that shit. I don't know how I feel about this. I knew you were jealous. I presume you recall this, Judge Shigoku? The photograph we took in the foyer of the hotel to mark the occasion. As a court will note, you have with you your large travel trunk. Large enough, in fact, to have a corpse inside. Mr. Naruhodo, surely you're not suggesting— Oh, I am suggesting! I'm afraid I am, yes. We already know you can fit a whole-ass man in that trunk. You demonstrated that to us very well last time, Jikoku. And I think you're a much bigger man than Gregson. You know, that does also explain why Gregson... Because, like, they made a point to be, like, Gregson seemed unusually, like, balled up. I was wondering if they did, like, some shenanigans with, like, his body and, like, wires, but no. Stuffing his body in a suitcase would definitely explain that very well. 3 days ago, when we were chatting innocently with the new arrivals from Japan at the hotel, Body Inspector Gregson was just meters away from us, inside Judge Shigoku's trunk. Order! Order! Order in court! I'm skeptical, counsel, that grown man's body can fit inside even the largest travel trunk. It could. Because I happen to know that the witness himself, a man of considerable size, fits inside his trunk. Verifying that would be extremely simple. Wouldn't it, Judge Shigoku? Shit, I should not have tried to hide that thing. God damn it. But inside his trunk? Oh, horrifying. And after we've spoken with you at the Great Waterloo Hotel, we had the opportunity to visit the apparent scene on Fresno Street. Taking your trunk with you at cab to deposit the inspector's body. I don't have to listen to this nonsense. Dr. Gory, the coroner who examined the body, has confirmed the possibility. She acknowledged that there are signs that steps may have been taken to disguise the true time of death. The outside of the body's decomposition could have been delayed by storing it in a refrigerator. Wait, where's the refrigerator coming from? Counsel, as I remember explaining yesterday, refrigerators of the requisite size are few and far between. Yes, I'm sure they are. But one place they're certainly found is on large ocean liners. Do you have a fridge in his room? Such ships are equipped with electrically refrigerated cold rooms to keep food fresh on their long sea voyages. And the SS Greece is no exception. Professor Mikoto told me about it only yesterday. Well, Judge Shigoku? I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be in his room as long as he can, like, get access to it. I feel like that would be the next step to be like, yeah, I don't have access to it. But whatever. However much you prolong this debate, you can't eliminate the truth. All the evidence points to you being the killer. Well, this is all very heartening. Now what? I can see that was a wise move, like a stogie, and you embark on this study tour. What are you talking about now? Logical reasoning, of course. All court proceedings will be built on logical reasoning in the new century. And I can see that you've both laid firm foundations for that already. Judge Shigoku, please! Stop diverting attention from the issue at hand! The defense has made an accusation against you. How do you respond? Respond? There's really no need for me to respond, is there? Why ever not? Because before you can even begin to answer the question of when the victim was killed, we must first establish one key fact. Where was the victim killed? It's quite logical. The actual scene of the crime? Prosecution's stance is unaltered. Killing took place on Fresno Street when the gunshot was heard. As the accused, Barrick Van Zeke shot the victim at point-blank range. There's no tangible evidence exists to disprove the prosecution's claim at this time, because its deductions amount to little more than an elaborate fairy tale. I'm afraid that's how the logical reasoning the British are known for really works, young stripling. We have any definitive proof that was him, though? Victim was shot in that little room on Fresno Street and died instantly? I'm afraid it's the prosecution's claim. The only fairy tale here. Oh, how can you say that? Quite simply, because the claim directly contradicts a certain piece of evidence in our possession. It does? Inosuke, it's been like over a week, at least! Very tantalizing, counsel. I think you had better explain yourself to the court, don't you? Prosecution claims that Inspector Gregson died instantly when he was shot at sea on Fresno Street. This evidence clearly contradicts that claim. Wait, that's Clint's. We just gonna point out the fact that it's been a while. It has been a long while indeed. In the chest again, other than the obvious stuff. I say obvious, in this case I really just mean like the blade. This passport was the day before Gregson's body was found. We need this document for a trip to France. When it says permission for the applicant and one additional person to travel, I can't believe it was you, Kazuma! Tip of Kuruma. This is how it was broken. Kazuma's swordsmanship is second to none. I can't believe he'd misjudge it like that. Really wasn't in his right mind. He didn't have full control of the power in his stroke. Too distracted by malicious thoughts, perhaps. Well, that wouldn't be surprising. For all, he was on an assassination mission. I still find that so hard to believe after all this. He went from, like, dead in the first game to, like, yeah, I came here to kill a man. Have you seen this huge gash across the side of the trunk here? Gone right through the leather and into the metal behind. Gosh, for a metal chest like this to have been so badly damaged, whoever made the gash must have struck the side of the trunk with considerable force. I wonder how it happened. I'm hesitant on if they just want me to point out the fact that because the thing is, they point out the fact that the time was, like, indeterminate during the, previous thing. So I don't think that's what they want me to say. Alright, I'm gonna try to throw a couple things at the wall and see what sticks.
Take that!
No. Japanese really are a curious breed. For offer an argument with such conviction only presents such nonsensical evidence. That's why Japanese friends inexplicable thinking. That's why people talk of the mystique of the East. Wow. In case you hadn't noticed, I'm not the only Japanese around here. You even have a mirror. Gore's not interested in the mystique of anything. You'll be penalized accordingly. Okay, I wasn't sure. Maybe it was like the blood. No, I don't think it would have been the blood. Victim killed in the room on Fresno Street, or was he moved there after his death? One piece of evidence we have that shows the answer to that question surprisingly clearly. Perhaps you should try to present the correct one this time then, Mr. Naruhodo. Thanks. Are you going to try again? Or can you hold your hand steady enough to point it out? Prosecution claims... Yeah. It needs to be something that clearly shows that he died on the Groose, right? Not the trunk, then...
Take that!
No. Sure, let's see. Because I don't want to keep, like, throwing stuff at the wall and, like, losing all my hit points. Gonna try to avoid... Okay, this is a bit more far back than I was expecting. This was a poor idea. What shows that he had to have been killed on the Groose and not on Fresno Street? I mean, do we ever touch on the fact that there was no, like, bullet found at Fresno Street? I don't know what would show. I don't know what we can show to, like, prove, like, we never found a bullet at Fresno Street. There's at least a bullet hole of some type on the Groose. This revolver also bothers... Okay, this revolver bothers me because we never really found out, like... When we first looked at the revolver, it made it sound like we were going to talk to someone specifically about the revolver to find out, like... how many bullets and, like, stuff like that are still in it, but... Huh? That's new. I don't remember that, huh? They never said anything like that, like in the last episode.
Take that!
Okay, no, that's not what... I was thinking that since, like, they were up, like, hey, this gun's definitely, like, older than... This gun was definitely, like... I mean, no, that wouldn't prove anything, because he probably would have gotten the gun 10 years ago. They did not say anything like that when the revolver was inspected during case 4, I will say that. It was a wonderful way of waking you in the mornings, Naruto. I can prefer that you continue to wake me in person if it's all the same to you. I don't think the red hair piece has any... I don't think the red hair piece has any significance. I don't know, it also bothers me that, like, we still have basically all the evidence from Case 4. Normally when, like, previous Ace Attorney games go, like, yeah, this case is gonna be extra long, there's gonna be a whole lot of extra, like, stuff to consider. Normally they have the courtesy, like, clear out a bunch of, like, the, like, more pointless evidence once they were, like, done with it and moving to a different day. It bothers me that, like, we went from Case 4 to Case 5, and we still have a bunch of evidence that, like, I'm presuming doesn't really actually matter anymore, like the frame full of Mrs. Vigil and the Redheaded League stuff. I'm trying to think, like, would they have to, like, give him, like, some way to prove that he, like, checked back into, like, Britain? If he, like, because, like, if he left for France, like, if he left to travel to France the day before his body was discovered, like, the passport proves that, like, passport probably proves that he tried to, travel the day before he was discovered, but nothing came up about, like, hey, this proves that you came back, or rather, the fact that there isn't anything like that proves that he didn't come back through normal means?
Take that!
That's one thing I'm considering. Nope, that's not it. Shit, man, I have no clue. I really am just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks at this point. I don't like it.
Take that!
I can't help but wonder, like, if there's some new piece of evidence, like, in one of the, other pieces of evidence that, like, would not have come up before for whatever reason? I can't imagine what it would be then.
Take that!
Watch? No. That just takes me back to... damn it. I might as well at this point. I'm gonna have like one more hit left, and I'm gonna be stuck like wondering more. I seriously have no clue. I don't remember anything like... I don't remember anything that like definitively like proved Like, the only thing I can think of is the absence of certain pieces of evidence, like the bullet and, like, something that would have proven that, like, Gregson, like, left and came back by normal means, but I don't know what I don't know what I can do to prove any of that. There wasn't any of the pieces of evidence I would have thought, like, you'd have to present. And we didn't get the bullet hole, like, in the... But even then, they, like, brought it up and it was like, oh yeah, wood worm, no bullet. And, like, there's nothing else you can, like, look at in the sword here, right? No. Volunteers right now, I have no clue! Save me! There's also stuff regarding the professor, so that's not relevant right now. We already tried the password, try the trunk. I don't think the Asobi papers would be it. I don't think there's any, like, sign of a bullet hole, like, anywhere on... I don't think there's any signs of a bullet or anything like that in Jigoku in here. I mean, are we just gonna point out the fact that the body is tightly curled up in the photo? That's what it is. God damn it! Photograph of the victim in the very location you claim he wasn't killed. I like how I pointed that out earlier, and I did not realize that's where we were trying to point out here. Fuck. Yes, but the point is the posture of the body itself. Inspector Gregson had been shot there in that room. It's out of the question his body would have been curled up in a ball like that! God, come on, give me the objection! Once again, it bothers me that we went... Even then, even, like, beyond the fact that we went from the Great Ace Attorney 1 where, like, all these were voiced. I also hate the fact that, like, he's a judge. Like, I feel like he should also be getting that special treatment. Like, how Judge Courtney from, Ace Attorney Investigations 2 got her own, like, unique, special, like, voice line and overruled. It bothers me that he doesn't even get an actual full-on objection. That... I've said it before, I'll keep saying it. I really do wonder if that was a thing in the Japanese version. I need to look that up after I'm done with this, series. Sorry to disappoint you, but your logic is flawed. You could easily have adopted that photo position due to the pain of the shot, which subsequently proved fatal. It was instant, jackass! Sorry to disappoint you, Jigoku, but your logic that is flawed. What? According to this autopsy report, the victim died instantly. Oh no, photo is a word? I type in photo, but it comes to fetal position. No, no, photo is literally just the British English spelling of fetal. God damn it, Bryn! It's bad enough you put a fucking U in, like, honor and color and all that. Now, this is just a whole new word! Come on! Fucking... who have felt no pain, much less have been able to draw himself into that position. Ah! The thing that threw me off about the foal was that... I don't know, the thing that kind of threw me off about the foal was the fact that, like, he's kind of bleeding? Blood's coming out? I don't know, like, I feel like every time I hear about, like... yeah, the victim was moved after he got killed, like, a big, like, thing about it is that there's virtually no blood at the scene. So, like... Would he have started bleeding after he thawed out? I don't know. I don't know, like, the way I always consumed, like, crime stuff like this, usually, like, when a body is moved from, like, the actual location of death to where where the body is discovered, a major component is that, like, there's virtually no bleeding whatsoever. Like, I even remember, like, I think even I was about to say in the AI the Somnium Files, when you literally, like, start the game and find the victim, she basically did not bleed at all. Well, there's, like, very, very little blood from... Even then, I think there was still, like, a little bit of blood, but... I'm getting away from the game. I'm getting on a tangent. Which begs the question of why the victim's body is curled up in that way. Though the answer should be abundantly clear by now. You're suggesting... The inspector's body took on that posture ahead of its arrival on Fresno Street. The floor was coldly turned out on the floor. On the inside of a large travel trunk. No! You're quite right. The shape of the body looks exactly as if it had been kept in a confined space. I feel stupid for not getting that. Judge Goku, present your trunk for examination. I believe it's very possible that it will contain traces of the victim's blood. Ah! Well? Are you gonna tell me you were bleeding when you hit it yourself? Present my trunk. I refuse. What? On what grounds? It's my trunk! Shove off! I'm the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Empire of Japan! I shouldn't have to put up with this treatment just because of some stripling's baseless accusations! In other words, Judge Goku, there's blood in your trunk! I decline to answer that! Get out of here with your right to remain silent! It's for Foreign Affairs! Shut up! Shut up! At this moment, you're not a government minister! Fuck your extraterritorial rights! You're a witness in a trial in Britain's highest court! Fuck your extraterritorial rights! I don't care who you are or what your status outside this courtroom might be! You will not withhold information! Nothing is more important than the truth! God damn it. Order! Order in court! Well, Mr. Goku, what's it to be? Can't be serious! You did it?! Don't you fucking dare act surprised, Cosmo. I feel like you knew this. You're definitely not clean in any of this. You had to have known you were with Gregson! How did you not know?! Well, you just left without him?! What, you just gonna be like, I can't be seen with this shit after he got thrown, walked out, he just died and you just didn't know? Come the fuck on! You didn't stay with him the whole time, Kazuma? You no shame at all, Kazuma Asogi. What? Very well, I admit it. I did bring the inspector's body into the country. Oh, inside my trunk, exactly as postulated by the defense. What? Dear God, outrageous! So it was you! You meant to Inspector Grayson's... No! I meant to nothing more than what I've said! You good? Wait, are you going to try to throw the blame on the Cosmo? That's gonna kind of rule, actually. Killing the man, I certainly have no recollection. What? No recollection? Why are you wearing it like that? What on earth is that cryptic statement supposed to mean? I merely disposed of the inspector's body, which was left in my cabin, in order to avoid unwanted attention. The judicial assistant over there pointed out I had no chance to throw it into the ocean. So, I decided my only option was to bring it into bread with me and dispose of it somewhere else. You can't still deny it! You didn't do it, then who on earth did kill the man? Oh, please, please! As you know, there was one other person in my cabin that night. He had the opportunity. Wait, no, the way you say it sounds like you're gonna throw the blame onto Makotoba instead! That's not what I want! Get out of here! Moreover, he already accepted a mission to take the inspector's life. Okay, no, you are going for Kazuma. The way he worded that, I thought he was gonna, like, try to blame Makotoba instead, since Makotoba was still, like, his travel companion. Oh! That's right! Who else could it have been? It was you, Kazuma Asogi! You... Once again, Kazuma, we know you did attack... Blah, blah, blah. Once again, Kazuma, we know you did, in fact, take a swing at him at some point. I never thought you stooped to this, Sessho Jigoku. You've taken the words straight out of my mouth. Prosecutor Kazuma Asogi. Let's face it, there is some evil within him. So this is something I wanted to mention at the start. People who might have seen my thumbnail might have noticed I used a yin-yang symbol for the thumbnail this time. I think I know why they chose to give... Kazuma a, like, all-white ensemble here. I think they're going for, like, a very, like, yin-yang, like, symbolism / like, imagery. I don't know if he's supposed to be the yin to... I forget if yin is the white one or yang's the white one, but they're trying to make him, like, the yin to... I don't know if they want it to be Jigoku or Ryunosuke's yang, because they both do wear a lot of black. Everyone loves to point out Ryunosuke's all-black ensemble most of the time. So I'm thinking that's, like... intentional, and, the thing about yin and yang is that there is, like... It's white, but there's a hint of black in it. In good, there is evil. And, there might be a bit more evil in Kazuma than we would have assumed from the very start of the game. You thought by leaving the body in my cabin you could pin the crime on me, did you? Well, prosecution counsel has already admitted to visiting the witness's cabin on the day in question. Yes, on an assassination mission, no less. You wouldn't! You need to talk about that more, Kazuma! So what do you make of that, young stripling? You've heard my testimony now, and that's all I have to say on the matter. I'll admit to nothing more. I don't believe this. Counsel for the defense. What's your position now? Court awaits your response to the witness's assertion. Your assertion that on the day in question, the victim's assailant was in fact Mr. Kazuma Asogi. I know Ryunosuke's gonna be like, no, but he's my friend. He couldn't have been a murderer, but I don't know. I don't know, man. I know that's where the game's going, like, it's Kazuma Asogi, it's Ryunosuke's best friend, he can't be the murderer, but at the same time, Kazuma's gotten into some shady-ass shit. Like, you can't look past the fact that he has outright admitted he only got sent to Britain to be an assassin. You can't, like, look past that for the sake of friendship, Ryunosuke, come on! This isn't the dead end it seems to be. The answer's right in front of me. It comes down to Jigoku or Kazuma. Both of them had the opportunity to kill Gregson, but only one of them did it. Could they? Could they? I'm just a step away from proving who. Very well. Defense is ready to respond to the assertion put forward by Judge Jigoku. The idea that the victim's murder could have been committed by Prosecutor Asogi is... I don't like the fact that it's like, here's a penalty if you get it wrong. I don't like the fact that this is like a penalized, like, answer. What do they want me to say? Because I want to say possible, but I feel like the game's gonna be like, no, you have to believe in him. But it could also just be that they want you to say possible, and then later on they'll just swerve and be like, no, it's Kazuma though. It's possible, but surely he wouldn't actually have done it. At this point, this is just a matter of me trying to figure out, like, what the game is thinking. Which is a colossal problem, because I have had an incredible amount of difficulty following Great Ace Attorney Chronicles' logic from the very start of the game. Fuck you, I'm saying it's possible. Well, it is possible, my lord. What? How could you? You think I want to believe it? The fact is, I can't say with complete certainty what actually happened because I wasn't there. You disappoint me, Ryunosuke. If I may, Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps that's why we form opinions based on evidence. Ah, so true. He took a swing at Gregson! We have evidence that says he was sent to murder Gregson! And actually, we have evidence that can settle this argument conclusively. My lord, the defense would like to present evidence in support of... Before you plow on, feigning ignorance of what just occurred, counsel, goddammit. You must be penalized for that short but embarrassing you uttered a moment ago! Damn it! I really thought I could just brush past it if I was quick enough. I don't like the fact that, like, that's definitely not the first time there was, like, a question I feel like should not have been a penalized answer, but oops, fuck you. Never mind the penalty, Mr. Naruhodo. The truth is all that matters. Joshikoku, let me remind you of something you said only a few minutes ago. You claim that logical reasoning is the future of the judicial process. It is, no question. Well, logical reasoning can prove something here. Namely, that it would have been impossible for Prosecutor Sogi to commit the crime. What? Court will only accept an argument that is supported by compelling evidence. To present what you have, counsel. What proof is there that allegedly demonstrates the impossibility of Prosecutor Sogi's involvement? What does prove that was impossible? Where do they want me to go with this? I mean, he already admits the fact that he, like... No, it can't be the fact that, like... It can't be the whole moving the body thing, because he already admitted to, like... He did that because he literally had no other option, even if he wasn't the person who killed him. I'm trying to think, like, is there anything that proves that Sogi didn't have a gun? Because, like, the most obvious thing would be, like, shooting a gun probably isn't a Sogi style. He's definitely, like, he's rocking two swords. He's absolutely gonna stick to, like, just slashing a dude to death. Other than that, I don't know what they want me to throw out here. Again. I mean, I'm trying to remember, did they ever, like, mention if Kazuma got his own gun?
Take that!
Making the evidence weep here, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Sorry? Every piece of evidence has a role to play in arriving at the truth. They're not playthings you can toss around the court for entertainment. Ah! Damn it. Never mind the evidence, you're about to make me weep, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh no, I can't upset Susao-san, or I'll end up being upset too. I'll be upset because you'll throw me. Now remember, the crew was on sentry duty outside the first class cabins nearly all the time. As long as the guard was there, it would have been impossible to fire a shot without being heard. That very much narrows down when the crime could have been committed. But we know that, like... just the fact that, like, they wouldn't have known about?
Take that!
Okay, just the fact that they wouldn't have... just the fact that, like, presumably Gregson and Kazuma would not have known about it. The itinerary for crew members of the SS Cruise, my lord. This is conclusive proof. Itinerary? How does that prove anything? Shichikoku, the moment you acknowledge that you found the victim's body in your cabin, this itinerary suddenly became much more significant. What? Why? The main question, as always, a crewman's sentry was on guard outside your cabin door. As long as he was there, nobody could fire a shot inside the cabin. Absolutely, because it's inconceivable that the guard would have heard it and come to investigate. That tells us that the crime must have been taking place when the crime must have taken place when the guard was elsewhere. And then narrows it down to 20 minutes just after 10 o'clock, as indicated in the itinerary. Yes, I see no flaw in your reasoning so far. The crucial point is this. When the evacuation drill took place, the steamship had already put to sea from the port of Dunkirk. And clearly the murder could only have been committed by somebody who was aboard the vessel at the time. Prosecutor Sogi stated in yesterday's proceedings, I didn't come to Great Britain to take anyone's life. But I left Gregson and disembarked the ship. I spent that night at a boarding house in the town, and returned to England the following morning. I'm sure the court will agree it's conclusive proof. Okay, I guess? The Kazuma Stogi couldn't possibly have carried out the killing! Yeah! Come on! No! Absolutely not! I don't accept that at all! What do you mean? Boy, he's just saying that to exonerate himself! Can't trust that he really doesn't embark the vessel! Obviously, after he left my cabin, he hid himself somewhere nearby on the ship! Waiting for his ship to come back and finish them! Oh? Objection so strong it made the judge recoil. No, that's out of the question! Isn't it Cosmo? As the defense rightly recalls, I disembarked the vessel and spent the night in a boarding house in Dunkirk. As I said yesterday, I signed my name in the accommodations register book. All extremely easy to verify and undeniable proof. Ah! No! Wait. Where the hell's the accommodations register book? I want that as evidence! There's no escape this time! You can forget that you're a judge or a government minister! It's time you gave the court an honest answer as a common man. You kill Inspector Tobias Gregson and transport his corpse back to Britain. Then you dumped the body in the room on Fresno Street and made it look as if the murder happened there. That's what really happened, isn't it? Sylvierchii Goku! That damn trial 10 years ago. That's when all this began. Huh? Oh. Looking back now, my fate was decided that day. I was doomed already. Ah! Yo, he did it again! That rules. It's over! My life is over! I can't believe he broke it again. British assassin to eliminate a professor in Japan. A Japanese assassin to eliminate a detective in Britain. Both assassins will use diplomatic immunity to evade conviction and return safely to their homelands. You have a shitty assassination plot. Literally just send them to a different country and then just be like, yeah, extraterritorial rights, diplomatic immunity and all that. That's how it looked out. Assassin exchange request arrived from Britain about 1 year ago. It was hardly a request. It was a demand. And for that, you decided to recruit Mr. Asogi. Things didn't go according to plan. It shows an assassin never made it to Britain. You found yourself unable to dispatch a replacement. Because I was already on my way to Britain at that time in Cosmo's place. That left me with only one option for carrying out my obligation. To eliminate the mark myself. Personally. Of course, there was but a single opportunity for me to do that. International Forensic Science Symposium, I presume. That's right. I decided it would be safest to carry out the plan before my arrival in Britain. So I enlisted the help of my British counterpart. Made arrangements for a pretext that would take the inspector to Dunkirk. To lure the man in, he was given a sham mission by the Reaper. What? The Reaper? There was only one person who could have done that. Masterminded the entire operation. The Reaper himself. Yeah, I kinda have a feeling like... We're getting the big reveal that Jigoku did kill Tobias Gregson, but there's no way it was gonna end with that. In the end, he was just a patsy. It was just another pawn. We gotta find the actual Reaper. Ah! So, that means that the assassin exchange was all planned by the Reaper. Your British counterpart, I presume? I'm not at liberty to say anything about my British counterpart. Anyway, the inspector accepted the Reaper's mission and dutifully infiltrated my cabin on the steamship. It was all trapped trying to lead him to France, and his own death. Oh, how awful! It was past 9 o'clock when I returned to my cabin from the dining hall that evening. I didn't give him time to attack me. I choked him until he lost consciousness. There was a guard just outside the door. So I left it at that for the time being. Even the slightest noise might have aroused suspicion, but I bided my time, waiting. So I'm sorry, you choked him? This is bullshit. The autopsy report made no mention of the you being, like, choked. Maria, I call bullshit. This is shoddy work. I feel like that should have gotten caught on an autopsy report. I guess it depends, because, I mean, if that was at 9 o'clock, then it was, like, roughly over, it was, like, well over an hour before he actually, like, killed, if he got choked to the point that he, like, passed out for, like, over an hour, would that have, like, gone away after an hour or so? For the 20 minutes after 10 o'clock, I intended to finish it by strangulation, but before I had the chance, he suddenly came round, went for me in a reckless move. Bang! I'd received the British-issued gun 16 years earlier, being a member of Judiciary as a visiting student. I never imagined I'd have to use it for something like that. The revolver belongs to you, does it? The victim was killed inside your cabin on the SS Groose, which begs the question of why you arranged for his body to be discovered in the room on Fresno Street. The young judicial assistant over there has already answered that question. There's no way I could take the body up on deck to throw it over the side. That's precisely where all the crewmen were gathered for the evacuation drill. Before the first-class cabin sentries returned, I sent the corpse to the refrigeration room. Yeah, arriving in Dover, you conceal the body in your trunk in order to smuggle it past the border police. Okay, I was wondering, because, like, I was kind of thinking, like, if he put the body in his trunk, he threw the trunk in the refrigerator, like, would that have made sense? Would the trunk have, like, tampered with, like, the chilling of the body? But, yeah, no, this makes sense. Okay. I knew I needed to take steps if the police were to be convinced when the body was found in London. In that case, you must have known. You must have had intimate details of Inspector Gregson's intended schedule. Yes, my British counterpart sent me everything I needed to know. The Inspector was due at Fresno Street at 5 o'clock that afternoon. In order to meet a man by the name of Hugh Boone. We would take back his police there. Inspector was due at Fresno Street at 5 o'clock that afternoon, in order to meet a man by the name of Hugh Boone, from whom he would take back his police identification. Ah! I decided that man would be the perfect person to step as the culprit. I took a hackney carriage over there with the body still in my trunk. That must have been just after he took this photograph with you at the hotel, then. Yes, I wasn't expecting a welcoming committee. I was more than a little nervous. On Fresno Street, I spy a young girl selling little firecrackers. Miss Venus, of course. The liar conceived the candle trick there and then. I conceived the candle trick there and then. I donned a simple disguise and approached the girl to buy the firecrackers to replicate a gunshot. What sort of disguise? For some reason, the inspector had a bright red hairpiece in his own traveling case. Why? That's one thing I've been, like, curious about this whole time. Like, why did he have a bright red hairpiece? He never used it at any other point. It would have made sense if he was doing stuff with the redhead leak, but that wasn't him. That was Daly. So why did he have that in the first place? I put that on. Otherwise, shit. I put that on. Although I suspect I drew more attention to myself than I would have otherwise. I don't know. People have noticed, like, the Japanese black hair, but then again, if that was your only disguise, then yeah, that's a pretty shit-ass disguise. No one was like, yeah, I saw, like, this Japanese man with a red hairpiece and this full black mustache and beard around Fresno Street at the time? Like, what? The hairpiece found the scene. The inspector had it ready for the redhead league investigation. That's the explanation we're going for? On the arrival of the room at around 4:45. Like, why not give it to Daly then? or quickly placed the body on the floor with the notice board and set my little candle trick. I arranged this so the firecrackers would go off with a bang around 15 minutes later. So that Mr. Boone, who was due to arrive at 5, would walk straight into a trap. Except, at the last moment, I made a careless blunder. What was that? I imagine it was the bag of fish and chips. Ah! I didn't notice that it had fallen out of his overcoat pocket when I moved the body to the refrigeration room. Put back into his pocket the following morning, but... well, it seems the warmth of the heated cabin had accelerated the decay of the fish. Anyway, that's everything. All the sordid details of what I did. But there's no way we're gonna end it there. I've heard enough. We've arrived at the truth about the murder of one of the country's most capable and respected police inspectors. The witness will be tried in the coming days. For a crime of such a vile nature, you can expect the most severe penalty. No, it's not going to end like this, so... Exchange of assassins! A foolhardy idea. Goku, one last detail! Who was your counterpart in Britain? Who was the mastermind behind the assassin exchange? If he was going to give it up, don't you think he would have done so by now, Ryunosuke? Nothing you say now can make matters any worse for you! Just tell us! Enough! I've already told you that I cannot say! Even though as things stand, you may very well never step foot in your homeland again. What are you waiting for? Can't we get this over with now? It's finished! All of it! Is it though? I'm finished. Then, in the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I now pronounce the findings of this court. This man before us is admitted to the willful murder of Tobias Gregson. 1L. The Sylvierchii Goku is the opinion of this court that you should be found. Guilty. And may I remind all those present of the strict confidentiality demanded by this closed court. You're going outside the normal procedure. Strongheart, come on. That's not how we do things in court normally. Moments ago, Mr. Shikoku signed a written confession admitting to the murder of Inspector Gregson and the subsequent conveyance of the body. In short, the defendant's innocence has therefore been established beyond doubt. So, we know they're almost certainly going to... This is going to be where Cosma goes like, no, I can't let it end like this! You're the Reaper! You killed my brother! You... The Professor Case! Oh, wonderful! Well done, Mr. Naruhodo! Yes, thank you. Something wrong? I'm just a little troubled by his silence. The true identity of the Reaper of the Bailey and this extraordinary assassin exchange. We do remain in the dark about these mysteries. However, insofar as the indictment brought against the defendant in this trial, we have reached a conclusion. I have every intention of pursuing both mysteries. The prosecutor. As you wish. Now for the formal education. I hereby declare the defendant, Barrick Van Zeek.
Objection.
Yeah, there we go. Prosecution calls for adjudication to be deferred. Counsel? The accused's innocence hasn't been fully established at all. Therefore, it will be wrong to deliver a verdict this time. That's the prosecution's unwavering position. What? But just Shikoku has already confessed. Nevertheless, Barrick Van Zeek has committed crimes for which he must be punished. Well, it would appear you have information the court needs to hear, Prosecutor Sogi. Certainly, the murder of Inspector Gregson was actually carried out by Sylvierchii Goku. It's clear from the witness's testimony that he was coerced in complying with the plot into the sick, merciless assassin exchange. That may be true, but what I want to know is who coerced Jigoku? Who was pulling the strings? Yep, here we go. Fit him with the friends having been ordered on a mission for the Reaper, only be murdered. In other words, the mastermind behind the assassin exchange is someone in a position to give such an order. As we've already established, the Reaper himself. Well, certainly that would appear to follow. Prosecution hereby formally accuses the man in the dock, Barrick Van Zeek, of being the Reaper of the Bailey, and furthermore, I'm going to prove his guilt beyond all reasonable doubt. What? Yeah, here we go. Murder is just the warm-up. Now we get on to the real meat of the game. The last plot. Who is the Reaper? Because now the Reaper is starting to get a bit more intriguing than just... Now the Reaper is starting to get a bit more relevant than just a superstitious, impossible to prove legend. It's definitely seeming more and more like a proper, actual organization. Order! 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 The Reaper of the Bailey is a long-standing mystery, Counsel. I'm suggesting you have some new information with which to build a case. Scotland has already investigated Lord Van Zeek very thoroughly in that regard. They found no evidence whatsoever to substantiate the claim that he is the Reaper. Perhaps, the circumstances have now changed. What do you mean? It's already been established that the assassin exchange was negotiated with Jigoku by the Reaper himself. Which means we now have a new line of questioning by which to identify definitively the man's identity. That's the prosecution's intention here. I must say I'm surprised by quite how tenaciously you appear to want to besmirch my name. I mean, if anyone is going to do it, we're guilty of an unforgivable crime, Lord Van Zeek. And I will bring you to justice for it. For my daddy! Whatever it takes! That explains Cosmo's silence before. Stop at nothing to finish what Lord Van Zeek's unwillingly started 10 years ago. Very well. Whilst it's extremely irregular, I will on this occasion grant the prosecution further opportunity for witness testimony. The defendant will disclose any and all involvement he has had with the Reaper and the assassin blah 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 blah. Good reading skills once again, Manji. The defendant will disclose any and all involvement he has had with the Reaper and the assassin exchange. I thank you, my lord, for guiding the court so wisely. I hereby declare this court to be in session for a supplementary hearing. Where are my pigeons? God damn it! The pigeons should be out here. This is the most dramatic point in all of our years. Pray turn a blind eye to this courtesy as I verify that this vile and unremitting accusation hasn't soured the contents of my hallowed chalice. Kiss my boot while I kiss my glass! Lord Van Zeeks! Put that foot down! I first had to suffer the pseudonym of the Reaper 10 years ago now. And ever since that time, I've endured the weight of implied guilt that's gone with it. So I welcome the chance to testify now and crush those allegations once and for all. I'm still so sad that we're almost probably never going to see him throw the glass into anything again. Good. Then let justice aside, Lord Van Zeeks. Prosecution seeks to begin building its case by calling the accused to the stand as the primary witness. In order that he may answer the accusation brought by the prosecution that he is the Reaper of the Bailey. And what says the defense? Being the defendant in the witness stand can be extremely dangerous. Kazuma-sama is so emotional at the moment, he's not thinking logically. You're right that he's not himself. I knew it would be like this. I came here today to determine to face him through whatever might arise. As a lawyer and as his friend. That's what we must do. Defense has no objection, my lord. Very well. Defendant, you will take the witness stand. Give formal testimony on the subject of your involvement with the Reaper and the assassin exchange. As you wish, my lord. Witness testimony, Reaper and the assassin exchange. I've never taken the life of another, nor have I instructed another to kill. I've been investigating the truth behind the Reaper for years, and I was aware of Gregson's involvement. That's the reason why I went to Fresno Street that day, and I came to discover the body. The point is, no common thread exists between myself, Gregson, and Dr. Wilson. Clearly, therefore, there's no reason to suspect me of being behind the assassin exchange. We deny all accusations by the prosecution. Both that you are the Reaper of the Bailey, and that you masterminded the assassin exchange. I acknowledge that the public at large believe me to be the Reaper. However, that's a fallacy, which I alone am in a position to forswear. Naturally, the prosecution believes the testimony just given by the accused to be untrue. Inosuke Naruhodo. Yes? Let me ask you, why are you here? What really brings you to this courtroom? I decided to uncover the truth. Even if the truth proves your client to be guilty. I was about to say it's worked out for us so far, but no it hasn't. It did not work out for us with McGilded. From all my experiences in this courtroom, I've come to realize something. Truth can't be hidden. Sooner or later, it will come out. So it's always my intention to work with my client in pursuit of the truth. I want you to remember what you just said. Enough dilatory chatter. Counsel for the defense proceeds to cross-examine the witness. I feel like especially now, Kazuma should be the one in charge of cross-examination, but okay. Yes, my lord! I know exactly what you're thinking, Kazuma. I know you're just waiting to point it out. Contradiction you're convinced lies somewhere within this man's testimony. Cross-examination. Yeah, we're still in trial part 2, so I have a feeling that... Yeah, no, I did not get my hits back. I've never taken the life of another, nor have I instructed another to kill.
Hold it!
Do you not what the general public refer to as the infamous Reaper of the Bailey? Exactly. Don't imagine for a moment that the court will be satisfied with a one-word answer on this. I realize that. If you're intending to comment on every sentence, this could take a while, Kazuma. Are you going to badger witness to every single point, Kazuma? Surely you wouldn't do something that tedious and stupid and pointless. That'll take forever. Didn't you find it disturbing, though? That one by one, defendants who've been acquitted after your unsuccessful prosecution were killed? One thing that kind of did, like, make me, like, raise my... the problem is... One thing that kind of did, like, make me raise my, like, tilt my head a little bit was that, like, the, like, revelation that Jigoku's, like, appearance in court 10 years ago was also tried by Eric Van Zeeks. He got out because he, like, immediately got deported to Japan after that, but then, I suppose after that, like, that does make me wonder, like, I don't know, at first I wonder, like, how many other people were, like, were, like, acquitted of, like, not as bad crimes, like, non-murder crimes. But the thing is that, from what I remember, the big thing about the Reaper was the fact that, the big thing about Barrick Van Zeeks here was that he pretty much only tried, like, crimes that were committed by, like, the truly heinous types. Presumably they were always murder trials. I'm trying to remember, did they ever say it was only ever murder trials that he did? Because they did show in, like, case 4 of the previous game that, yeah, no, he's perfectly willing to, like, try non-murder trials as long as he thinks that, like, as long as he thinks that someone deserves it. A Japanese man, yes. So that comes with the usual argument, but still, he did try a non-murder trial. We had an actual non-full-on murder trial that he prosecuted. How many other, like, non-murder trials did he prosecute, and how many of them got acquitted? I need to know if he, like, prosecuted, like, one of the people for tax evasion, if they got acquitted, and they got got by the curse of the Reaper immediately afterwards. Let me answer that question by posing another. If one by one defendants who've been acquitted after your successful defense were killed, would you find that disturbing? Disturbing? I couldn't possibly say how that would make me feel with a one-word answer like that! Exactly. Well, that told me. But even though I'm not the Reaper, it doesn't mean I ignored all the hearsay. I've been investigating the truth behind the Reaper for years. I was aware of Gregson's involvement.
Hold it!
You say for years? How long exactly? Since the very first time the Reaper's influence was felt in this courtroom. 10 years ago now. And your investigations led you somehow to Inspector Gregson, you're saying? Okay, who was the first, though? I need to know that, because we know it wasn't Jigoku. From what I understand, the Professor case was his first time appearing in court. He also tried Jigoku because it was considered to be, like... What was the word they used? It was, like, tangentially... I forget the exact word. It was, like, kind of related to the Professor case, so they have tried that, too. But Jigoku couldn't get got because he got deported immediately afterwards. And the dude that he tried for it, which was Genshin Asogi, did get like sentenced to a death. He was declared guilty, so it has to have been some other completely different person who got like the first definitive like, yeah, he got acquitted, but he still got. That's the curse of the Reaper for you. I didn't want to believe it. His personal acquaintance. We've worked on cases together in the past. Friend, even? Felt like a betrayal, but he demanded permission to search his office at the yard without his knowledge. This is when you found a secret notebook, is it? When I first learned of the location, you know it only as Bruce and the appointment at 5 PM on the 31st. But I didn't know the significance of the details at the time. But now we're at the nub of the matter. As it turns out, the significance for me personally was very unfortunate. That's the reason why I went to Fresno Street that day. Now I came to discover the body. I did it again, goddammit! I am not the wheel today. Why'd you go to that specific location? I thought that if it was the Reaper's headquarters, that by turning up there at 5 o'clock, I would catch whoever was involved red-handed. Or rather, red-headed? I'll shut up now. Sadly, all that was weighing me was the inspector's corpse. Yes, even though it wasn't designed for you, you walked straight into the trap set by Jigoku. Exactly. Jigoku had intended to implicate Hugh Boone. And happily for me, I arrived at the scene first. Ha! A ridiculously careless blunder. Move on to just throwing insults around, I see then, Kazuma. Like a true prosecutor. Think what you will, it doesn't change the truth. The point is, no common thread exists between myself, Gregson, and Dr. Wilson. This feels like it's gonna be the huge sticking point.
Hold it!
There is a link between you and Gregson, though. Of course, we were close acquaintances. We worked on numerous cases together. I consider the man to be a mentor of sorts. He taught me a number of important lessons. He did? Such as what? Way to buy good fish and chips. And such like. Thanks. Thanks, Varric. Really appreciate ya. Well, that was convincing. Dr. Wilson was a coroner, of course, and that was some time in the past. In any case, I understand it was several years ago now that he was invited to work at Japanese University. That's right. He's a visiting professor at the Imperial Yumi University in Tokyo. It should be unambiguously clear that no link exists between myself and him. In other words, I had no motive for sending some assassin across the oceans to kill the man. That's plausible enough, and I want to believe it. But something about this just doesn't quite sit right with me. Clearly, therefore, there's no reason to suspect me of being behind the assassin exchange.
Hold it!
Certainly, as it stands, there's no evidence to suggest that you concocted the scheme.
Objection!
As it stands, we have only the accuser's insistence of his innocence. Sorry? Perhaps there is some reason that would explain why he would mastermind the assassin exchange. If a reason can be established later in these proceedings. The accuser's claim in his testimony that he was involved with amounts of perjury. Well, yes, that's true, but... Like Kazuma-sama intends to identify a reason he used to make his case. If we don't identify something first, we gain the advantage. This could be dangerous. Convincing testimony by Lord Van Zeeks. Certainly, with no apparent connection between the three men, there's no way to establish a motive. This only seems unassailable as far as I can see. Oh dear me, what a bleak expression. I agree, there doesn't appear to be any particular link between them at first glance. Well, the inconclusion of one other person. I must be overthinking it, surely. Another person, Mr. Naruhodo? I need to think back over all the information we've gleaned so far. Alright, and I'll review my notes about the case and all the evidence in the court record. Could it be that Lord Van Zeeks has something to hide after all? So... Well, there's no common thread exists between myself, Gregson, and Dr. Wilson. I guess we'll just go for the most obvious, thing to point out here. That autopsy report, signed by John H. Wilson, was carried out by Mikotoba, but it was also... The professor case very much was like... do they want me to point out Clint's autopsy report? Or... Barrett, Gregson, and Wilson. Is It's a professor case for sure, but wouldn't be this. No, would it be the... No, probably not. The only other thing... I think it's gotta be the, We'll start off with the most obvious thing, Clint's autopsy report.
Objection!
See, that's the only thing with Wilson's name on it. What is this? An autopsy report? Wait, this is 10 years old. The autopsy of Lord Clint Van Zeeks. What? My brother's autopsy report? I'm pleased to see the defense doesn't intend to run from the undeniable truth. Yeah. Don't get out of this one. There's a very clear connection between you all. The professor case. It's all going to come down to that in the end. Order in court! What reason do you have for presenting a 10-year-old autopsy report here, counsel? The autopsy report of the professor's final victim is an indelible link between Inspector Gregson, Dr. Wilson, and the defendant. With that cursed name again. Professor. I've personally researched all of the court records relating to that case. I know that at the time, autopsy was considered sacrilege to the victims' souls. Remember the aristocracy of the Lord Clinton Van Zeeks, it was unthinkable. So I implored the powers that be to allow the autopsy to... So I implored the powers that be to allow the autopsy to go ahead. Inspector Gregson. He declared that he was certain to obtain conclusive proof from the procedure. It was Dr. Wilson who conducted the autopsy. Sort of? His signature is clearly visible in the document. I mean, didn't we literally talk about like it was his signature, but Mikolova did all the work? As promised by Gregson, the autopsy did indeed produce evidence. Evidence that conclusively proved Genshin Asogi is guilty of the murders. In my brother's dying moments, he mustered all his remaining strength to leave that vital clue behind. Indeed, that was the key to indicting the professor for his crimes and the conclusive evidence that convicted him. It enabled Lord Van Zeeks here to avenge his brother's senseless death, with a marvelous victory in court. Marvelous victory, was it? I wonder if that's really true. What? The same be said if it turned out that the key piece of evidence in question was in fact fabricated. The inspector, the coroner, and the prosecutor all colluded together. Cast an innocent Japanese man as a mass murderer and send him to his death. That's outrageous! And now, 10 years later, for some reason the secret has been threatened and needs protecting. This is why the inspector and the coroner had to be silenced, isn't it? There's someone in power in Japan and Britain, using the two killers recruited for the assassin exchange. Order! Order at once! 10 years ago, my father was convicted in this very courtroom as a mass murderer. He was sentenced to death. It was all a sham. I swore to myself that I'd prove it. I had to come to Britain. Whatever the cost! You'll have to forgive me if I feel compelled to toast this vengeful Nipponese's tenacity of purpose here. However, he who fails to quash his emotions in the courtroom has failed as a lawyer. Come on, Kazuma! You know this won't wash! You're claiming your father was misrepresented in a trial that took place a whole decade ago! You must see that without evidence, that's nothing more than a wild accusation! He's gotta have something. As it happens, I have evidence. What?! As of course heard, I crossed the channel to France with Gregson on the 31st. I went with him on the pretext of being the assassin recruited to kill Sylvierchii Jigoku. My true intentions were to make the inspector tell me the truth. What truth? The truth about the evidence, and he acknowledged what I had already deduced. There's a closely guarded secret about what went on in that autopsy 10 years ago. What? Secret? No, nothing of any secret. While we waited for my supposed mark in Jigoku's cabin, I drew my clan's illustrious sword Kuruma before the inspector's eyes. He very quickly understood what my true motive was. I was going to kill him. Right, I see. You're that Sogi young lad, are ya? And what? You're gonna cut me down with that thing, is that it? That will very much depend on the answers you give to my questions. Want to know what really happened 10 years ago? Truth. That's all. Before we get into it, let me make one thing clear. I still believe your father was the professor. There's no doubt in my mind. Unfortunately, back then, we didn't have the evidence we needed to make the crime stick. So, you admit then, the evidence used my father's trial was fabricated? It's for the good of the country. Anyway, I was just following orders. Orders? What exactly did you do? Speak! And not say another word. Even if your life depends on it. That's right. Even then. That's when the tip of the sword broke. Oh, Kazuma-sama. The results of Clint Van Zeek's autopsy were fabricated. And the investigating officer Gregson and the lead coroner Wilson must have known about it. They could only have been ordered to pervert the courts of justice in that way by one man. The man leading the case of the prosecution, Barrick Van Zeeks. In other words, the defendant did have cause to organize this exchange of assassins. Exactly, and that's what's established earlier. It has to have been the Reaper himself who liaised with Jigoku in Japan to arrange the exchange. Ah! It follows that the Reaper's true identity can only be that of the man who stands accused in this courtroom today, Barrick Van Zeeks.
Objection!
Oh. Kazuma Sogi. What? Well, you've just told the court. Are you absolutely certain of your facts? Did Gregson really fabricate evidence for that trial 10 years ago? I heard it with my own ears. Shameful admission. In that case, I know. The name of the Reaper. What? Lord Van Zeeks? I gave no such orders. I know that for certain. Which narrows down the remaining possibilities to one. If Lord Van Zeeks isn't the one behind all this, then yes, there is only one other person who could have done something like that. I believe I know who it is, too. You? I just had a feeling this name was going to come up. Troy Dan, the infamous Reaper of the Bailey, is... It's one name that's mysteriously absent. Is it Strongheart or is it Mikotoba? Because I really want to say it's Strongheart, but there's But Mikoba is the one who did, like, the actual autopsy?
Take that!
Really palpable now. Overwhelming pressure is making it almost impossible to speak before this gargantuan foe. I can't back away now. There's no time. What's the matter, Counsel? I take exception to the look you're giving me. I was just gathering my thoughts. I'm ready to voice the defense's opinion now. Wait, I can't tell if that's wrong or... Very well. But before you do, a penalty for time wasting. Damn it. Ah! Inosuke, counsel of the defense, reveal your belief about the identity of the Reaper. If you have the courage and the resolve to utter the name, that is. Okay, yeah, no, it is Strongheart. I was like, are they really gonna swerve me like that? But no. No, yeah, no. It's very much Strongheart. I probably should have known, like, it had to have been someone, it had to have been a British person. I don't know, I got caught up in, like, the whole fact that, like, hey, wasn't Mikoba the one who did all the actual autopsy work, and he was the only name that wasn't coming up and all that. I'm stupid. The only person who could have arranged the assassin exchange and manipulated the autopsy results is the Lord Chief Justice himself, Lord Male Strongheart. What? Lord Strongheart? Yes, it's true that 10 years ago, the defendant handled the prosecution of the professor in court. But he only took over the case after his brother, Lord Clayton Fancyx, had been killed. I can only assume that this is the most inappropriate joke in British judicial history. Well, Lord Fancyx, 10 years ago, I was very new to my profession. I had a burning desire to revenge my brother's death. I pleaded for control of the case. The investigation at that point, the supplication of the Lord to allow my brother's corpse to be examined, all the evidence I was given, the autopsy reports, it all came from you. I spent my life since then believing I was in your debt in the way you stood aside and let me handle the trial. I see now. I was very much mistaken. There was a hugely influential force that caused the inspector in the coroner to break the law 10 years ago. And that same force was still felt a decade later on the other side of the world by Sylvierchii Goku. Lord Strongheart, everything falls into place when we recognize that you are the Reaper of the Bailey. That's one thing I want to check real quick. Okay, no, I for some reason I kept thinking that. Okay, no, for some reason all throughout today, I kept thinking that Mikoba was the one who did the actual autopsy. No, he just did the report. I'm stupid. I'm so fucking stupid. Holy shit. I am not at the wheel tonight. Even more so than usual. But wait your response, my lord. May very well go down in British judicial history. I assure you, it is no joke. Consider this a formal accusal by the defense. Kiss my foot. What? It doesn't warrant a response. Formal accusal? Don't be absurd. Defense's claims are utter nonsense. A wild fantasy at best. You're not going to defend yourself? You claim there was some wrongdoing with Lord Clayton Fancyx's autopsy? That's utterly untrue.
Objection!
I heard it from Gregson's own lips. He admitted to it. And where's your evidence? What? Gregson's dead now. Unless you were thinking of summoning a ghost to the stand. Where the hell is the Fae Clan? You mean to say I forget how the system works in your little backwater country, but in the courts of the British Empire, without evidence, there is no case. I have no intention of entertaining some wild fantasy that can't possibly be substantiated by anyone or anything! Ah! Order! Order in court! Following Inspector Gregson's murder and the life of Dr. Wilson's death as well, there's really no one left who could testify about the events of 10 years ago, is there? That's what the real purpose of the assassin exchange. This court has no business raking over the coals of a case that's concluded a decade ago. The accusal brought by the prosecution and defense is categorically denied. I take it there are no objections. Bye! Kazuma! He's more or less waited his whole life for this moment. Is there really nothing else we can do now? Is there no other avenue we can go down and pursue the truth about what happened all those years ago? Well, there was someone who could testify about Clint Fancy's autopsy. Well, okay, there we go. He's gone to extraordinary lengths to cover his tracks. He went so far as dispatching an assassin all the way to Japan to ensure Dr. Wilson's silence. Dr. Sith won't say anything against Strongheart. But there's still one ray of hope.
Objection!
Actually, there is one person. One person who could still testify about that autopsy. Don't be ridiculous. There's no one left. Who, Ryunosuke? Who? Tell me. Kazuma, Please, this trial can't end. Not yet. I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing it for the truth. The person in the defense would like to call to the stand to testify about the autopsy of Lord Clint Van Zieks. Now he throw in Makoto. Heaven help us, another Japanese. Fuck you! Wow! An expert in forensic medicine, my lord. Professor Yuji Mikotoba. 16 years ago, he came to learn with Sylvierchii Goku and Genshin Asogi as a visiting student. And what could his testimony possibly tell us? Professor Mikotoba was the primary assistant during the autopsy in question. He's also the person who actually penned the report. Incorrect. The autopsy was carried out by the coroner, Dr. Wilson. The report carries his signature. It's the primary assistant's duty to keep a written record of the coroner's work during the procedure. Actual fact, the coroner merely read over the report at the end and signed it. In other words, Professor Mikotoba witnessed the entire autopsy from start to finish. Professor Mikotoba being summoned as a witness as a matter of urgency. Whatever really happened in the autopsy laboratory 10 years ago is something only he can tell us. The defense's demand is denied. What? Wait, where did you think this was going to go? You thought you was just gonna be like, oh yeah, I'll just accept it. You're trying to throw me under the dog, yeah. I'll just accept whatever. Professor Mikotoba's in London at this very moment. We can summon him to the stand in minutes. No, of course he's not going to agree to it. Stronger has no intention of summoning anyone who knows. He's too concerned about protecting himself. We gotta get him thrown out of his position of power. Prosecutor Sogi, let me refresh your memory as you seem to have forgotten the prosecution's stance. Only minutes ago, you accused the defendant of being the reaper and of masterminding the assassin exchange. I did, yes. Present your evidence for those claims and make your case complete. At this time, I don't have the requisite evidence, but that's exactly why we need witness testimony. The professor case is closed. There are no clues in the distant past that will bolster your argument today. I'm afraid to say, Prosecutor Sogi, that you would appear to be possessed by the spirit of your late homicidal father. Now, as I said earlier, this court has already reached a conclusion with respect to the matter at hand. Dr. Gregson was murdered by Japanese Supreme Court Judge Sylvierchii Goku. As for any hidden circumstances that may exist, they will be investigated in due course by the proper authorities.
Objection!
We all know what will happen! They'll just give the mastermind the whole bench of time to cover his tracks again!
By which you mean me.
Yes!
Your punishment for this contemptible behavior will be decided at a later date. As for you, Prosecutor Sogi, you will be remanded following these proceedings. Willingly, I trust, since you gave your word.
Ah!
This futile game of revenge is over, young Master Sogi. Oh, that's a new one. Ugh. Draw the sword! Draw the sword!
Ah!
That will be all. I hereby declare this trial to be over. What? Please tell me. Please tell me the man was just sitting in the gallery the whole time. Yo! Mr. Sholmes! This is no place for amateur detection, Mr. Sholmes. May I remind you that these proceedings are closed to the general public. You will leave the courtroom at once.
Objection!
Mr. Sholmes is instrumental in the apprehension of Sylvierchii Goku before he fled from Europe. What should hear what he has to say?
I am the court. Denied. Lord Malstrongheart, it's imperative that you refrain from bringing this trial to an end at this stage. Is it really? And why would that be? You need only recall your own words for the opening of the trial to answer that question. If I may, we will stop at nothing to uncover the whole truth behind these disturbing findings. Surely it can't be that the shock of being accused of being the Reaper yourself has erased that from your memory, can it? The whole truth, sir, has already been uncovered. It would seem that we have a great many important members of the judiciary present here today. I put it to you, my dear fellows, should the trial end at this juncture? After all, why have you been invited to attend? To now along to the provocations of your superiors. Will you fight, or will you die like dogs? Order! Order in court! It seems to me that we stand before a door that leads to a new era of legal practices. A door that is ajar. Let's emerge from the shadows of the Reaper's decade-long ascendancy. For you and you alone, my dear fellows, have the power to push this door open now. That was ajar. The auditors in the gallery have no right to express an opinion on court proceedings. Silence! Everyone shut up! I'm the one with more important.
He's right, the judge is the absolute authority here. Yes, if he calls the trial to an end, it must end.
What will that really do?
There's dark things occurring behind the scenes. Dark things indeed. There's a single person here who honestly say he doesn't sense the same.
The Dark Age of the law is coming!
What? What? The trial should go on. Summon the witness. That's right. We need to clear this up before that young Japanese fellow remains in custody.
My lord, you assured the president that you would uncover the whole truth here! What? Moon, hello! You've gone into quite the middle of a very interesting situation. Hello, Starlings. Hello, I am Manji Dragonfly, Blue Dasher Dragonfly VTuber. I am in the middle of, like, the very last case of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Moon really just have data. Oh, what were you up to? Have day. Let me do the shot and see what you were up to. Ah, yes, Minecraft. Of course. But yes, Hello again, Raiders. We are in the smack dab middle of the very last case of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. This is ultra spoiler territory. This is incredible spoiler territory. If you don't want to be spoiled in this game right now, you definitely need to run away, because you've probably already seen some major endgame shit. Still, never can go wrong with Ace Attorney. Oh no, you cannot go wrong with Ace Attorney. Oh, indeed. I once again find myself asking him, when are you gonna get back to your own playthrough? But seriously though, thanks for the raid. You will. I'm going... Next time for sure! Next time for sure I will make that stream! I still feel bad, because I feel like I, like, somehow bullied... I don't want to say bully. I somehow, like, convinced you or bullied you into, like, doing the stream, and then I completely missed it. Next time for sure! I swear! Oh, but yeah, no, seriously, this is ultra spoiler territory. If you don't want to get spoiled, next Thursday, I could totally make that. I would totally be able to make that with a 100% certainty. Sunday already and Wednesday. Okay, yeah, I get you. But hell yeah, I will absolutely be there for more Great Ace Attorney. I'll be there for more of your playthrough of Great Ace Attorney. I gotta see that. I forget, where exactly were you again? You were like, were you in the middle of case 2? Just smack dab in the middle of case 2, or did you already get onto case 3? Try to start stream on days you work. Alright, yeah, I trying to get back up. Pretty much middle case 2, yeah, alright, yeah. You've at least met Herlock Sholmes. That much is guaranteed. Oh, but you have not met this dude yet, though. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Imagine being able to stream on the days that you work. I'll get everything by next week. Oh, that's good. There's a lot of things in here that, like, if you've seen, you definitely need to forget about it. So, don't pay attention to the man on the right side of the screen. Do not pay attention to the man on the right side of the screen. He's not on screen right now, but definitely don't look at that. It means nothing. I swear. That can only mean something good. Oh, there is some. We've had some wild reveals. We've had some incredibly wild reveals in the last couple of cases. I'm just gonna. Once again, need to check really quickly. Okay, yeah, no. Okay, so, just a warning, I am going to, start getting back onto the case. Again, mega spoiler territory. Very last case of the game. This is endgame stuff. I do not blame you if you want to, like, lurk or mute the stream or do whatever if you need to run. It is also fairly late. It's like it's like a little over, like, 2 a.m. for me right now. I forget, you're like, yeah, you are also on EST, so yeah, it is also 2 a.m. for you right now. I imagine you need some sleep. I will say I am planning on, I do overnight work, so I'm good. Yeah. I will say I am planning on actually coming right back to this, like, sometime tomorrow morning as well. Woke up at, like, 5 p.m. Oh, ooh. Ouch. That is late. You are definitely a night owl. I will say I am planning on going right back to this, like, sometime, like, tomorrow. 2 a.m. Not a problem with sleep. Comes at 5 a.m. anyway. Ouch. I know that feel. I know that feel. I used to feel that feel like all the time, but ouch. Okay, I say all the time. Even then, 5 a.m. was always like way too fucking late for me. I was always more of like a 3 or 4 a.m. guy. Even then, 4 a.m. was like normally on the later side. Still at work at 5 a.m. Oh my god, you. Oh. That third shift, that night work. Oof. You poor soul. I don't know, I can't imagine it, even though my father also did night work, like, oh god, how many years ago was that? That was like when I was a young kid. I love Brave Shift. I hate the customers. Damn mood. Relatable. Oh. That's relatable. I do like working working the closing shift for the most part, but man, I don't like dealing with the people, and I just work retail. Alright. I do want to get... I'm not going to be on here for much longer. I'm going to end in like roughly like 20 or so minutes. I do want to get like some sleep, and I did say before I'm going to basically come right back to this like tomorrow morning-ish, which also means I need to like prepare like the next thumbnail and the next part and stuff. But yeah, I'm just gonna head right back into it. So once again, I don't blame you if you need to run now, but thank you so much for raiding. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for coming by and chatting. And I swear to you, next Great Ace Attorney stream for sure I will catch. Good to see you, Moon. Fellas, and you go on Roblox. Yes, sounds good. A toast to my dependable colleagues in the gallery. On with the trial! On with the trial! Well, my lord, you hear the voice of British justice, I take it. I think you'll find it will be rather awkward silence. The court will recess briefly. I have no intention of shrinking from these allegations. This is going to bite me directly in the ass, but... Bailiff, arrange for the subpoena of the witness at once! As soon as the gentleman arrives at the courthouse, we shall reconvene. A recess won't be necessary, my lord. No, please, give me that recess. I took some hits. I've not been doing super great tonight. Pardon? The Kobo's a close friend of mine. He accompanied me today. He's waiting in the antechamber as we speak. I believe he's been enjoying a little trip down memory lane, in fact. What? Professor McColbus here in the courthouse? That's why I've been doing listening to you and now Manji here while doing phone games. Hell yeah, phone games. And you know what phone games we're talking about here. You clearly have games on your phone. I need to know. Mr. Sholmes, you didn't know this would happen, did you? My dear fellow, no one is in a better position to answer that question than you, Shirley. He planned this 100%. He knew everything. He played us like a damn fiddle. I wasn't just asking for the fun of it, you know. Well, I must thank you for your assistance in this matter, Mr. Sholmes. However, you are of no further use here. Kindly leave the courtroom at once. Well, of course! In truth, I find myself rather busy now as a result of these developments. Mr. Naruhodo! Ah! Yes? I trust you have Iris's little lucky charm with you. Absolutely! It's still in my pocket. She sends her regards, and as a reminder, if you find yourself at a dead end, the ears are at your disposal. We're gonna have to do it again! Just one tug if you please. Oh, of course! In that case, the trial will continue without delay. Bailiff, show the witness to the stand. So it's Lord Strongheart. Nothing big, just a ball sorting by color game. Ball sorting by color? That's not the... No, that's not the Suika game that, like, I've been seeing around lately, right? No, that's something different. Because I either don't want to do others or need other updates to add content. Ah, yes, the updates. The dreaded updates.
Where exactly is this trial going to take me, I wonder? Just how deep am I about to be plunged into the blackness of the abyss?
Jelly thing? I don't... No.
Well, I'm ready. I'm ready to head into the heart of this maelstrom. Maelstrom.
Ha ha! Ha ha ha! Thanks for just being outright with it, Ryunosuke.
Confront whatever horrors it tries to drown me under.
To be continued. Okay, good. I'm getting my refill. God, I need that refill. I was floundering earlier. Part 3. God, looking at that again made me realize it really is December now, huh? Whew. I'm running out of time. I probably shouldn't even be streaming this tonight. I probably should have spent tonight, like, re-reviewing the previous cases, but I am desperate to finish the Great Ace Attorney before the end of the year. Because I started this, like, middle of last year. I started this in the middle of, like, last year, near the end of last year, and I have been, like, working through this. I've been working through the second game here pretty much since, like, the start of the year. Wait, I need to... Hold up. I need to look now. I'm now curious, like, when exactly, like, I uploaded the first part of, like, the second half of this game. Because I have been at this for, like, the whole last year. I keep taking breaks from it. I keep, like, stopping and, like, taking it slow and, like, skipping weeks for various reasons. But it... Oh my god. Like, I need to know now. Yeah, like, the first... So, like, I finished the, like, first half of the game, like, at the very end of last year. That was in, like... Oh, well, okay, to be fair, I finished the game. I finished the first half of the game in, like, December. I did, like, the, extra episodes, escapades stuff in, like, the very start of the year on January 8th. I took a break from the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles for a while. So, like, the very first, like, the first part of the first case of the second half of the game, I started on April 16th. And I have been slowly, very, very slowly working my way towards the rest of the game. Between that, I have been, like, spending, like, the majority of the year working on this and trying and, like, ultimately finishing Persona 4. The Persona 4 playthrough is done. I'm not going back to that unless it comes up on the cookie again, or I just suddenly feel like going and, like, taking care of, like, the extra, like, post-game boss. But otherwise, like, Persona 4 is done. Now I want to see if I can, like, finish up the other, like, longest, like, playthrough I've got going in my, streaming roster right now. It's so close, I can taste it at this point, but man, it's taken a while. I have been struggling with these cases, honestly. So, witness, please state your name after each for the court. Yuja Mikotoba, lecturer in forensic medicine at the Imperial Yume University in Tokyo, Japan. And Professor Mikotoba, the young lady beside you is... Oh, this is Dr. Maria Gori. Tellenjar's practicing coroner. Daughter of Dr. Sith, I understand.
Yes, Dr. Sith.
However, I can't tell you why she's here. She just appeared. She just followed you, huh? She just wandered into the court.
You summon this strange Japanese man as a witness to the autopsy. But you don't summon Mama? That makes no sense. She was there too.
That's about the size of it. I've had her eyes boring into the side of my cheek constantly, whilst I was in the antechamber too. Poor man. The idea of it's making me shudder. The revelation about Dr. Sith that came to light some days ago defiled the reputation of the entire judiciary. She was therefore deemed unfit to appear as a witness in today's proceedings. The Ministry of Justice's decision on that is final. Well, we wouldn't want any more perjury to be committed, would we? Imagine committing perjury! Ah, you saw the knives! Yeah, she loves her knives! I hope you're gonna meet her eventually. It's gonna be a long ass time, but... oh man. You got me your mama too. I was about to pull a Kaiser.
Ministry of Justice? Unquestionable strings are being pulled, I think.
I remember you, Dr. Makotoba. Well, I certainly never expected to be meeting you under these circumstances. Yes, it's been a long while, Lord Strongheart. Prosecution understands that you were a visiting student of forensic science in London until 10 years ago. That's right. I studied under Dr. Wilson at St. Sinners.
That you were present at the autopsy of my brother, Lord Clint Van Zeeks.
I was, yes. I assisted Dr. Wilson with the entire procedure.
Mama's far more skilled than any Japanese man.
Well, Dr. Wilson asked me to be his primary assistant on that occasion.
This autopsy report is actually penned by you, I believe?
Yes, I know all of the doctor's findings, and when we were done, he read through the document and signed it.
Poor Mama. As a secondary assistant, she wouldn't have had such a good view of the innards.
So, Professor, do you remember Inspector Gregson? Yes, of course. If it wasn't for his insistence, Lord Van Zeeks' autopsy would never have happened. He was absolutely convinced that we revealed decisive evidence against Genshin, you see. Lord Strongheart had to entreat the nobility to allow it to take place. Do correct me if I'm wrong, my lord. It was as a result of that autopsy that mass murder was apprehended and justice was done.
Gregson admitted before he was killed. He admitted that the results of the autopsy were fabricated. You were there at the time, so you must testify. You have an obligation to tell the truth about what really went on.
Absolutely. That's precisely why I'm here.
That's why I'm here too. What are you going to say?
Very well then, you will give your formal testimony now, witness. But before you begin, a word of warning. Oh? You will state truthfully and accurately what you saw and what you heard at the time. I wouldn't dream of doing otherwise, my lord. The moment your testimony verges on supposition, I will expel you from my courtroom. Remember that.
Witness testimony. The autopsy of Clint Van Zeeks.
Oh. Hey! Shadowmagus 13! Thanks for following! I welcome you to the Dragonfly Den Guild. Ensuing testimony. Something like that. Good to see you. Good to see you following. I've been seeing you've been streaming, like, lately, but you keep doing it, like, super late at night. I keep missing it. I've been meaning to, like, catch one of your streams again. From my own observations, I couldn't say there was any indication of the autopsy results having been fabricated. Death resulted from a wound made by a Western-style sword transfixing the heart. That I found a little strange. That's how it is, TBH. That's how it be.
There were no other signs of internal injury. Nothing questionable at all. It was just that beautiful but dangerous piece of evidence removed from the man's stomach. Presumed to have been swallowed by the victim as a way of posthumously identifying his assailant. No indication? Nothing to suggest fabrication? What's it cool about? Are you certain about that?
Well, nothing that I could possibly identify as such, much less swear to it in testimony.
Ah!
Well, that clears things up nicely! Damn, I was not prepared for him laughing like that. The only fabrication here, Sogi, has come from you.
What?
You claim the inspector confessed just before his death. But that is the fabrication.
No! He freely acknowledged it! I swear he did!
Freely? With the tip of a sword at his throat? That was clearly at his wit's end. Oh. Go and give no credence to this confession that was uttered in obvious desperation. Quite simply, there was nothing questionable about the investigation of Lord Clint Van Zeeks' death. And with this testimony we have, without question, uncovered the whole truth of the matter.
I don't feel how I feel about the fact that, like, when it pulled out, it still showed her with the knives in her hands in, like, the view.
If I may, my lord, there was most certainly something questionable about it. The whole truth does rather elude us, I feel. I beg your pardon. Well, you're obviously aware of the facts of the case. All four of the professor's previous victims died when an enormous beast was set upon them that ripped out their throats.
Oh, such horrifying crimes.
Curiously, the killer's last victim, Lord Clint Van Zeeks, suffered a different fate.
Yeah, that was something I noticed. I definitely took notice of that when I first saw it, and I've drawn my own conclusion from that. I have my own theory on that. I already talked about it before. I'm not going to talk about it here. I'm not going to talk about it again. I want to see if we're probably not going to touch on that tonight, but I'm wondering if that's where we're going with this. Yes, you're right. You stabbed through the heart with a sword.
That's enough. I believe I warned you about this, witness. I promise to curtail your testimony as soon as it enters the realms of supposition or speculation.
Very well, my lord. In that case, the defense will pursue a conclusion to this during the cross-examination.
What?
I have the right to cross-examine every witness after testimony. I fully intend to exercise that right. Inosuke. I'm afraid that even the presiding judge has no authority to contravene the letter of the law. I'm sure every member of the judiciary present in the gallery would agree.
Very well. You may begin, counsel. However, the moment your argument strays from the established facts, I will not hesitate to bring the cross-examination and proceed with caution.
Yes, my lord, I will proceed to press every single statement as I always do. I will waste the court's time. Cross-examination. The autopsy of Clint Van Zeeks.
From my own observations, I couldn't say there was any indication of the autopsy results having been fabricated.
Hold it!
You can say?
No, sadly not.
But then you couldn't say there wasn't any indication either, could you? No, true, I couldn't. I was at Dr. Wilson's side as he performed the procedure, recording what he did. At times, of course, he instructed me to fetch implements and such like. Whilst I was away from the operating table, obviously I could have missed something. At those times, what was the secondary assistant doing? Following this Japanese man's orders to adjust the laying of passive implements. But this doesn't mean Mama wasn't a vital part of the team. Quite, yes. So would you kindly refrain from staring at my cheek like that? Friends have been called about fake. Was there nothing at all that seemed out of place to you? Well, yes, there was, as a matter of fact. Death resulted from a wound made by a Western-style sword transfixing the heart. That I found a little strange.
Hold it!
In all the previous 4 killings attributed to the Professor, the victims were killed by an enormous dog, I believe? Their throats were, well, mauled? Correct. And yet Lord Van Zieks was stabbed. Ah! Do you mean to say... You think Lord Clint Van Zieks may not in fact have been one of the Professor's victims? There is no basis on which to doubt the findings of the investigations carried out at the time. But... Genshin Asogi confessed to all of his crimes upon his arrest. He admitted to having taken the lives of all 5 members of the aristocracy. Ugh! If the beast that was used to carry out the killings was never identified. The evidence was found to suggest that Genshin had ever kept a dog. Huh? True hound of hell. Well, no. If what I'm thinking is true, then yeah, it wouldn't be Genshin that kept the dog. Dude looks like Apollo, but isn't. Also, we see Ace Attorney games about the iconic Phoenix or Edgeworth. I mean, Ryunosuke is close enough, and our prosecutor probably is, like, the closest we're gonna get to Edgeworth in this game, so it definitely, like... Or your commentary side pals Larry or Dick. I mean... Unfortunately, like, even, like, unfortunately, the games that come after, like, 3 kind of do, like... The games that come after Trials and Tribulations do kind of, like, start to really, like... lose Larry and Dick Gumshoe. Like, it's literally only, like, the investigation games that actually pull out Larry and Gumshoe again. Like, Apollo Justice and all the other mainline games, yeah, they're just gone. Wait, I want to say Larry was in, like, one, like, DLC case in Spear of Justice, but otherwise, yeah, no. Dick Gumshoe lost his job at some point. It's so fucking tragic, and no one ever says anything about it. All I want in, like, a hypothetical Ace Attorney 7 is for Gumshoe to come back. I miss the oaf. I miss that lovable oaf. Where the hell is he? They keep trying to replace him. Like, Emma's cool and all, but Gumshoe's the OG. The original Gumshoe. There were no other signs of internal injury. Nothing questionable at all.
Hold it!
But, you weren't actually present at the autopsy yourself, were you, Dr. Gory? Does that matter? Well, I just wonder how useful your testimony can be in that case, really. I mean, it would be different if your mother, Dr. Sith, were in the stand, but... I read all the paperwork about the case, and Mom has told me the story countless times. Alongside hashtag free match, we need hashtag free Gumshoe. Yes, hashtag free Gumshoe. The statement I just made is exactly what's written in the autopsy report. I did confirm that myself at the time, it's true. Besides the stab wound, there were no other signs of internal trauma. Do not free Max, we have been through that. I see Max, I keep thinking Max Galactica? I think that was the name of the dude from, the dreaded circus case. Was that? Oh god, it's been so long. It was Max Galactica that was the defendant of, the dreaded circus case of, Justice for All, right? That's probably not the person you're talking about, but... See, now I'm distracted. Now I gotta know. Now I gotta, like... Yeah, no, it was Max Galactica. Okay, my memory is not completely shit. Yet. I see. I'll tell you all about it. Oh? She said there was nothing of note internally. But they did find an amazing piece of evidence. Something unbelievable. Unbelievable? What do you mean? Come on, Dr. Gory! What was it? Yeah, Max. Oh yeah, Max is the cat. Right. Kept putting him in jail. No! Hashtag free Max. Cats can't commit crimes. Cats can't commit crimes that get them put in jail. The poor baby. The poor fur baby. It's just that beautiful but dangerous piece of evidence removed from the man's stomach.
Hold it!
Tell that to my ankle! Oh god. Innocent but asshole boy, that's all cats. That's just cats. What exactly was it though? What does beautiful but dangerous mean? Well, it was sparkly and round, with a hole, as if it might slip over a finger pass. What? It was a ring belonging to Genshin Asogi. Huh? My father's ring was inside the victim's stomach? At the time, Genshin wore a large finger on the digitus quarters of his left hand. The fourth or ring finger, aka where all rings go, I guess. More or less. I mean, Genshin had to have been married, right? He had kids. I understood it was some sort of keepsake. My father left Japan for London 16 years ago. I was 8 years old. I remember that ring. You do? My father's possessions were sent to our family home in Japan after his death. But the ring wasn't among them. Obviously not. There's a key piece of evidence. It remains under lock and key in the stores at Scotland Yard to this day. After the autopsy, Genshin was summoned by the police to check for the presence of his ring. It was on his hand, of course. Moreover, there were deep abrasions on his finger where it had been pulled off. You guys ring pulled off and then he just ate the ring? They arrested the man there and then, right before my eyes. How could they? I brought the ring along with me today. Wait, I brought the ring along with me today. What? What is this sick-ass ring? That's no marriage ring! That's a ring of power! Here it is, a bit dusty from years in the store. Good gracious! Yes, that's it! I haven't seen that in 10 long years! And that was found inside the victim's stomach? How would you be able to eat that? Yes, I'm afraid so. That's some magic ring with a plus 45 to mana! That is absolute... Yeah, that is absolutely a ring of power! That is a magic ring! That ring has powers! That ring has its own dark secrets! Where do I find... What cave do I find that ring in? I want it! You hesitated there, Professor Mikoba. Should we read something into that? Oh, well, it's just that thinking back now. I didn't actually witness the moment it was extracted from the victim's body. That seems crucial. Oh my, really? At that precise moment, Dr. Wilson had asked me to fetch him a new scalpel, you see. Dr. Gory. The removal of historic evidence from the stores requires my consent, does it not? Fuck you, old man. However, I came to be here. Court has crucial evidence for today's proceedings. Oh god, fucking damn it. Oh, very well, you may submit it. Mr. Asogi's ring. Ring belonging to this Genshin Asogi found in Lord Clint Van Zeke's stomach during the autopsy. Claws clasping the gem looked sharp enough to cause a very nasty scratch. Get brass knuckles. Wear this when you want to be a man to death. That'll leave a mark. It's not the sort of ring normally seen in Japan. It almost looks like claws protecting that jewel. They're guarding Genshin's... Those claws are guarding Genshin's treasury. That jewel is worth all of Genshin's gacha money. The horror! You must examine it very carefully, Mr. Naruto. Very carefully indeed. You better not be planning on stealing that Susato. You're no Maya Fey. Get out of your kleptomancy. That claws are doing a good job of protecting the equally fat gemstone in the middle of this ring. Yes, if you're clumsy, you could give yourself a rather nasty condom, I should think. Ow! Now my finger's bleeding! The claws really are sharp! Oh my, that was very quick clumsiness, Mr. Naruto. Even for you! Ah! Who would make such a dangerous ring? You couldn't swallow without doing yourself some fairly serious damage, surely. Sticky mochi bun about the size would go down much better with some red bean paste in the middle. Why are we talking about mochi? Someone as clumsy as me would probably manage to choke on it somehow. I mean, yeah, isn't that actually like one of the leading causes of death around the holidays in Japan? Like, aren't there like a bunch of like old people and children who have? Isn't there like are there like an inordinate amount of like old people and children who die around like the holidays because of like sticky mochi buns and they literally just choke on it around the holidays in Japan? I think I remember seeing that was like a real statistic. I definitely remember hearing that somewhere. I don't think there's anything else to see on this ring. Seems to have been swallowed by the victim as a way of posthumously identifying his assailant.
Hold it!
That was the decisive piece of evidence that led to Genshin Asogi's arrest? Correct. After further investigations by Scarlet and Yawn, the man admitted to his crimes. That's a lie! My father was no killer! Greg Van Zeeks, it was you! You twisted the truth to suit your purposes! Your hatred of me doesn't change the facts that were established 10 years ago. My brother Clan closed in on the professor. In the end, he exposed the man, put a stop to his lethal rampage. In the way only a man of my brother's caliber could. That's everything, is it? Her father looks so troubled. That's because 10 years ago, something happened that's been weighing on his mind. Oh? I couldn't say were his words. That phrasing was very deliberate, I'm sure. I wonder if he's had suspicions all these years. If that's the case, we need to use this cross-examination to prove what really happened. Remove any trace of doubt. To establish that Kazuma-sama's claim of fabricated evidence was true. Can't shy away from this now. Even what we might uncover could lead to total calamity. Alright, Mr. Naruto, I'll be right beside you, whatever may happen. Are we just gonna point out the, Let me look at the autopsy report again. No internal trauma noted anywhere in the body.
Objection.
Shit, that wasn't what they wanted me to present there. My lord, as counsel for the defense, I must object to that last statement. Damn it. As the judge, I must deny your objection. There's no contradiction here. I was hoping we could point out the obvious, like, how the hell would you swallow this ring? But no. Oh. No contradiction other than the fact that Far Eastern lawyers practicing in a British courtroom. Racism! But there by a not so far away Lord Chief Justice, if you remember. Alright, so where do they want me to present this?
Objection.
Okay, they want me to present it there because they want me. That's where they want me to make the argument. Like, how the hell would you not cut yourself swallowing this ring? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I believe now would be a good time to cliffhanger this. I said it before, I'll say it again, I am going to be coming back to this, like tomorrow, which is to say, like, early afternoon. But I need to start getting, the next part on YouTube ready. So, I'm going to go ahead and end for right now. I'm coming right back to this tomorrow morning for sure. Oh, whatever. Thank you everybody for joining me tonight. Let me see who's around to raid. Don't think any of my usual... I don't think any people I usually watch... Wait a minute... alright. Let's go see a buddy acquaintance of mine. I really do mean to, like, check out more of his streams, but man, our times do not match up at all. C'est la vie. Now's a good time, though. Here's our raid message. We are going to be raiding into one Vernon Crow. They are an Australian vampire. They're currently playing Shinogi Chess Club, which is... It's very interesting because they actually found like a little bug in the game recently, so they got shouted out in the game's patch notes. Vernon's cool, but our times do not match up at all, so I'm glad to have an excuse to check him out for a little while. Thank you everybody for joining me. Content change alert. Pretty much going on the exact opposite, going like I'm pretty much the opposite end of the world right now. Yeah. Alright. We got raid the Vernon. Thank you everybody for joining me tomorrow morning, probably around like 10:30, 11, whenever I wake up. More Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We're gonna be more Great Ace Attorney Chronicles until I am done. I am going to finish this game before the end of the year. But yes, thank you everybody for joining me. Thank you once again, Moon, for raiding. I hope to see you all another time. Maybe in the next stream. Maybe some other stream. But yes, I hope to see you. On the next stream. See you then.